Hello students, all of you are again welcome back to your favorite YouTube channel, that is Science Guru Sir Alok. And today I am here with a new chapter from Class 7 Science, that is Chapter 6, Physical Change and Chemical Change. So dear students, my request before starting this video, my request is those who till now didn't subscribe my YouTube channel, please click on the subscribe button to get the latest update in my channel. So I'll start my class today. Dear students, every day in our surroundings, we used to face the different types of changes, and these changes may involve one or more substances. As for example, solute the sugar into water to make the sugar solution, or setting of curd from the milk. These are the different changes. So in this chapter, we will study the nature of these changes. The nature of these changes. Broadly, we can say that these changes are of two types, and these are physical change and chemical change. Now, to understand this physical change, first of all, we have to understand about the physical properties of the substances. Now, what are the physical properties of the substances or the physical properties of the material, of any material? These are such as shape, size, color and state of the substances, that is whether the substance is in the solid form or in the liquid form or in the gaseous form. These are the different states of the substances. So these are all about the physical properties of the substances. So therefore we can say that a change in which substances, any substances, undergoes the change in physical properties, that is whether the change in the shape or change in the size or change in the color or change in the state of the substances. So these changes are known as the physical change. So again, what is physical change? Any change, when any change takes place in the physical properties of the substances, this change is known as the physical change. So, and also we have to remember about the some few important things about the physical change, that physical change is generally reversible because no new substances are formed in this case of physical change. No new substances used to form. Remember here, after the physical change, no new substances used to form during the time of physical change. As for example, we can say that if you take a piece of paper and if you make it small pieces, the substances in both the big piece and in the smaller pieces, in both the cases, substances remain same. So we can say that the physical properties of the substances remain same. Only the change of shape or change in the size takes places. So this is the example of the physical change. Now, when we discuss about the chemical change, on the other hand, the chemical composition or the chemical components of any substances is known as the chemical properties of the substances. So what are the chemical properties? The chemical composition or the chemical components of the substances are known as the chemical properties of the substances. And we can say that when any change takes place in the structure of the chemical components or in the structure of the chemical composition of the substances, it is known as the chemical change. And we have to remember here that in case of chemical change, one or more new substances will be formed, and generally it is irreversible. So from this up to this much, we can understand the differences between the physical change and the chemical change. So what are the differences between the physical change and the chemical change? First difference is, in case of physical change, the changes takes place in the physical properties only. But in case of chemical change, the changes takes place in the chemical components or in the chemical properties of the substances. Then second difference, we can say that physical change is irreversible, whereas the chemical change is we can say that physical change is generally reversible, whereas the chemical change is irreversible. And also one more difference, we can say that in case of physical change, after the physical change, no new substances used to form. But on the other hand, after chemical change, one or more new substances will be formed. So these are the differences between the physical change and the chemical change. So, example of the chemical change, that is the burning of magnesium ribbon in the candle. After burning of magnesium ribbon in the candle, this magnesium present in the magnesium ribbon, they react with the oxygen present into the atmosphere and used to produce the magnesium oxide. So this is new substances. Here we are getting a new substances, that is the magnesium oxide, which is totally different from the magnesium and the oxygen. So that this is a chemical change. But one more important thing you have to remember here, that burning of candle, during the time of burning of candle, both the physical change and the chemical changes takes place together. So what are these physical change and chemical changes takes place together? First of all, when the burning of candle, during the time of burning of candle, that is the melting of wax, it is a physical change, because after few times, when after setting this wax cool down, it will get again the solid form like the previous one. So this is a physical change. But burning of the magnesium ribbon, that is the chemical change, because during the time of burning of magnesium ribbon, magnesium used to react with the oxygen to produce magnesium oxide, and this is a chemical change. One more example of chemical change is the rusting of iron. This is very common in our surroundings, rusting of iron, and most of you are familiar with this incident, that is the rusting of iron. This is one change that affects the iron particles and slowly destroys these iron particles. So the process, what is rusting? When any iron materials just live outside simply for a few days or for a few months, the oxygen present into the atmosphere and also the moisture or the water vapor present into the atmosphere, they react with the iron, and they used to produce the oxides of this iron, and these oxides are generally brown in color, and these oxides are known as the rust. And this whole process is known as the rusting of iron. You can see the equation in my right hand side. I have shown in the equation in your display. You can see this equation. So for rusting, the presence of both oxygen and water, the presence of both this oxygen and water is very necessary. Without this oxygen and water, iron will not be rust. So it is very important to presence of oxygen and water to when the rusting takes place. So dear students, now we will discuss about the prevention of rusting of iron. How we can prevent the rusting of iron? We can prevent the rusting of iron by preventing iron particles to come in contact with the water and oxygen. If we can stop this contact of water and oxygen with the iron, we can stop the rusting. How we can stop? One simple way is to apply a coat of paint. It is very simple. One simple way is to apply the coat of paint into the iron surface, so that the water and the oxygen present into the atmosphere, they will not come in contact directly with the iron, and by this way we can prevent or we can stop the rusting of iron. One more way to prevent the rusting of iron is that to deposit a layer of any other substances on the surface of the iron, so that the iron surface will not directly come in contact with the water and oxygen. And this process of depositing a layer of substances into the iron surface, it is known as the galvanization. What is galvanization? The process of depositing a layer of zinc on iron surface is called as galvanization. So by this way we can prevent or we can stop the rusting of iron. So this is all about from this chapter, and most importantly you have to remember the different types of changes, that is the physical change and chemical change, along with the differences between the physical change and chemical change. Then one example of chemical change, that is the rusting of iron. Then how we can prevent this rusting of iron. This is all about for today. Thank you for watching this video.